And it's great to see him expanding his horizons.
Yeah.
You know,
Totally.
just having sax in it and throwing a lot more, a lot of clean vocals, all that stuff. He even has some semi-hollow stuff in there, some semi-hollow guitars playing in there. And I think it's a superb album. I think all the songs fit together very nicely. Although I would say that out of the whole album, my two favorite songs are probably "Frozen Lakes on Mars,"
Of
which
course.
is
Yeah, very
absolutely
good
a
album.
great song. Great
Good
song.
Very good song.
It has a very driven sound. It has a lot of punch, and the melodies, they're really catchy. All of a sudden, you're just singing them from out of nowhere. Really, I would really recommend that one. And this is my second one. Huh. You know, that's a tough choice. I don't know. I love the whole album.
The whole album is very good, and I think Ishan is doing a very good job of taking his Emperor extremeness and his, his Peccadum innovation, and he's getting everything together, and he's making it work, just work. He's making extreme music, but not loud music. He's making heavy music that you can sit there and listen to, and yeah, there's gonna be some really rough parts, but overall, it's not about the roughness, the loudness. It's about melody. It's about ambience. It's about experimenting. And I think he's doing a really good job at that.
Oh yes, very definitely. I mean, it's refreshing to see somebody actually take the approach to the A-string guitar instead of just going Meshuggah on it and just go dun dun dun, and actually doing melodies on it and actually
Yeah.
doing scales and everything. So it's really good. And building on that, also the other players he's had, the bass player, the drummer from Spiral Architect,
Yeah.
I believe there.
Yeah.
Also very good performances. I'm really glad to actually hear the kick drum and the snare from the drums this time, because on the two previous albums they were just really weak. This time you can actually feel the punch of the kick in your chest.
But I think it's also a hard album to get to understand. You can just put it in the first play and you say, "Oh, I loved it." There were gonna be songs like "Frozen Like Summer" that the first time you listen to them, you're like, "Wow," but you have to sit through it and let it sink in.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think it was different from, example, The Adversary, which you could put it in your player and you could hear it. You were like, "Yeah, man, this is good," and I think after it requires the listener to really think about it.
Oh yes, definitely. I mean, the adversaries start off with just a misanthrope, and then you go into, I don't know, just Call by the Fire. Yeah. So
No, it's Invocation first, and then Call by the Fire, and you go. Misanthrope, I think, is from.
it's actually from Angle. Yeah.
Angle, right?
But it's a really driven album, and then you get this album, which I think it perfectly caps everything because it was supposed to be only a trilogy.
Yeah.
So supposedly this album is the one that caps everything off. So I think it's a great album. Given the context of it, it's superb.
Yeah, hopefully we'll see more from Mr. Ishan, Mr. Black Metal, Mr. Emperor, because I mean, he has great music, great ideas, and I mean the collaborations have been fantastic. Jason, Jorgen Munkevi, I forgot. I mean Michael Akerfeld, and of course Mr. Ulver. Oh God, I forgot his name. But he's
Oh my God!
We have this friend's gonna really kill us because we forgot about his name. But it's Christopher Rigg. Christopher Rigg
Yes.
on Homecoming on The Adversary. Oh my God! I think only Michael Akerfeld could have done something better. But I hope
Yeah.
he makes something. He should make something else, and he gets other
Other things flowing. Other projects.
other
Something.
collaborations, because I think he has a lot of potential, and I think a lot of people would be very happy to see him play live outside of Norway, because
Yes.
I mean,
oh yes, very definitely.
Master only Norway. Come on, man.
And I don't know if you've seen his live playing, but it's pretty good. He has 3 guitar players, including himself.
Yeah.
The keyboards. It's a really good show, and it
It's a
goes
very
pretty
tight
good.
band. They sound pretty tight. They
Really
sound very
good, really good.
very close.
Overall, the album, I think I would rate it about a 9.2.
Yeah, a 9 out of 10. I mean, it can't go lower than 9. It's a great album by Ishan.
Okay, now for our second album review, because since this is the first time that we're actually doing this, we're gonna have 2 album reviews. From now on, we're just gonna have 1. So bear with us.
Yeah, and this time we're gonna be doing random albums. So, I mean, if you want to suggest an album for us to review, okay, But we're gonna maybe not doing the latest stuff, but stuff that we think is very good and you should really listen to it.
Yeah, things that we believe are actually cornerstones or have had an impact or have worked as
Exactly.
influences, something that actually relates and actually has an impact to the world of metal.
And one of the last albums we're gonna review is Night Is a New Day by Catatonia, one of the best albums of 2009.
Oh yeah, hands down.
I mean, I love, Viva Emptiness, which came out in 2005, and I kind of liked it a bit. The following album in 2007's,
Grateful Distance.
The Great Cold Distance. Exactly, thank you. That's what I didn't like it that much.
The Great Cold Distance rocks.
I mean, yeah,
It rocks.
but I mean, it doesn't hold a candle against Night Is a New Day.
It
because
depends on what light you see in.
my point is this: Night Is a New Day takes the power of Viva Emptiness and the moodiness of the Great Cold Distances and mixes them in one whole thing. It makes it's very dynamic, it's very heavy, but it's really, really moody. It's very dark, it's very,
Oh yeah.
it's depressive. It's what Catatonia has always been about, especially if you listen to the very first albums, not the black metal albums, but the ones when they were changing from being black metal into being this depressive gothic.
Probably
thing.
around Last Fair Deal, Gone Wrong, Gone Down, that era.
No, what was it?
Discouraged Ones.
Discouraged Ones, exactly. Discouraged Ones was the one where you see that darkness coming out, and I mean, damn it! I mean, it's a great album, and I mean, I got sold into it because, I love Catatonia. I mean, I said that those albums, the first two albums, the last two albums were great, but I think they were very helped by the fact that Opeth's Michael Ekerfeld came out and said,
Oh yeah.
this is the shit. I mean, and
I think he's quoted as saying this album is a masterpiece.
It's a
He's
exactly.
quoted as him saying masterpiece.
Yeah, he did that. He said that, and like he said it himself. How often does he goes out and say that he likes something that's new, that's modern. He likes his 70s prog rock.
Oh yeah, definitely. He's a sucker for that. No, I have to agree. It's a really really gloomy album, and I think that's what it makes it really good. The one thing that I was completely amazed by it is that it follows through the whole album. It just flows naturally. It's amazing because sometimes you're listening to one song, and without even knowing, you're already on the next one or the next one. You don't even notice the subtle changes within it. The one thing that I don't like that much about that same thing is that it's pretty hard to keep track of the songs. Because you're listening to one, all of a sudden you're thinking, well, is this one Forsaker or is this one, I don't know, Onwards into Battle? You get kind of lost, which, by the way, those two are, I think, the best songs in the album, Forsaker and Onwards into Battle.
I think, there's very good songs, but I mean, personally, I think Departer, I mean, it hits personally, that song, but I mean, it's not just that it hits me personally. It's, I mean, Christer Linder's vocals intertwined with Jonas Rens. It was just mind blowing. But I mean, I also liked the fact that you say it flows, and I also like the fact that if you really are a Catatonia fan, if you were, like you said, into the Great Cold Distance, you see them taking out some of those melodies from the last album and reinventing them.
The thing that I loved from The Great Cold Distance, sorry to interrupt, is that The Great Cold Distance is great to separate tracks, to have tracks stand by themselves. It's amazing. You have some really good single potential in it. And in this album, I think it's kind of hard to get songs to make singles because they're all pretty alike, they all flow into each other, they're pretty long, they're pretty gloomy, so you're going into that territory that you have to listen to it as an album and not just as a compilation of songs. So I think it's just the approach that you take towards it. As an album experience, it's completely amazing. Something that I also really, really love, and this is just about Catatonia from Viva Emptiness onwards, is the drum playing. It's amazing. I love their drum player, the sound that he gets from the drums. The cymbals are extremely crisp.
I'm sorry to break your heart, dude.
I know, he left.
He left, and I think it's gonna be a huge loss for Catatonia.
Definitely, no.
But
definitely.
hopefully, it's gonna push them to go exactly into take Night Is a New Day as a basis and just go reach the skies, because that's the only place they can go now. I mean, actually, I'm going to see them in a few months, and I can't wait to go see
You
it.
have to make a review for us.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll
Yeah.
make a
Instead
review.
of holding a city review, we're gonna actually have a concert review held by this guy. Okay.
Yeah, okay. But I mean, yeah, I mean that's it for us, I think. But be sure to check out "Night Is a New Day" by Catatonia
Definitely.
and Asians After.
Any other suggestions you have? Any comments? Anything? We have a Facebook page. Follow us on Facebook.
We have a YouTube channel there too.
We have a Gmail set up, the weekly metal dose at gmail.com. Any comments, any suggestions, especially what albums you would like us to review. Since we're barely starting to do this, we don't really know how to do them, but as we go on, we'll actually try to go more in depth about them, explain songs, lyrics, everything about them. So anything you have, throw it our way.
Yeah, and I'm a huge trivia geek. So if you want to know something specific about a song, maybe you heard a rumor, I can clarify to you, or I can look into it. So let us know what you think, and we're here for you guys. Thanks.
Confront the guilt and try to overcome